Well, our guests have turned up, which is a brilliant thing. I wanted to start talking to Gabby and to Jim because we got an email from them saying they were starting out in the promotion business.
Well,
and
exactly.
it was a very convoluted story as to how this came about. So, Gabby, would you like to explain a bit more about the background to this?
Sure, well,
Get a little bit closer to the mic, I think.
Sure. Well, Jim found a CD in a bargain bucket in Bristol amongst, CDs 10 for 10 quid, that sort of thing.
Right.
And he thought, well, one of them's bound to be halfway decent. So it turned out that the one that was halfway decent, more than halfway decent, was Joseph Parsons' Heavens Above. So he bought that. It was before you met me, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Sometime before you met me. But when we got together, we listened to it a lot, and we both loved the music. And we thought, well, we'd quite like to go and see him perform. And we looked on the internet. There was nowhere in Britain. All his gigs were in Europe. So we looked at each other and thought, well, let's go to Europe and see him over there. So we took the car one weekend and drove to Nijmegen in Holland, which is over 600 miles, to see Joseph play in a tiny little smoky bar on a Sunday night. And, well, that's where the story started, really. So... would you like some more?
Well, yeah. So how do you persuade him to come to Devon to do a gig in Topsham?
We saw him 3 times in various locations in Europe. We made friends with one of his friends that we met in the audience of one of the gigs, and we spent some time hanging out with the guys in Denmark. And we just said, look, we've made 3 trips to Europe to see you. It's about time you came to see us. And he said, OK, I will.
All right.
So here he is, the very first UK tour of Joseph Parsons. And it's thanks to us.
It is thanks to you. It is thanks to you.
Right. Well, just say a little bit then. You've got 2 gigs you've arranged
in this part of the country, yeah.
So explain a little bit how you've been involved in that, and then elsewhere in England or in Scotland as well, I think. Well, how have you got around that?
Well, we've got Jim probably better able to tell you about that because he's been more involved in that side of it.
Yeah, but not for a few years now. So it was quite hard work getting some gigs because it's an unknown person.
Right.
But Number 8 Cafe in Launceston, where Jeff's is playing on Friday night. Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Tomorrow night. Came up fine. And so he's playing the Bridge in Topsham on Saturday night. And then we're up to Oxford for a house concert. And then up to Scotland for four gigs after that. And that's come about very much through Joseph's mutual friendship with a guitar player and singer in a band called Doghouse Roses up in Scotland. So they're doing 4 gigs together.
Right.
Yeah, and the house concert is Abingdon, at my brother's lovely house. He's got a great big front room, and whenever we've been there, we've thought this would be great for a house concert. So we just told him he was doing one.
Right. Okay, well that all sounds good.
Yeah. And it's all also gone hand in hand with our getting to know the Airbnb network as well, in that our first trip to Nijmegen we looked around for cheap accommodation, and I'd never heard of Airbnb, but we found a lovely room with a lady on Airbnb for next to nothing. We tried it out 2 nights, cheap as chips. She was lovely, ever so flexible and easygoing, and as we drove away we thought, I could do that, I've got a spare room. And from then we've had guests from all over the world staying on a regular basis, and we've travelled with Airbnb as well, and made friends all over the world as well. One of the friends was in Hamburg, which was where we went to see Joseph play on the second occasion when we went to Europe. So it's all tied in with that, really.
Right, so it's all sort of networked through the internet and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, well that is all good. I don't know, JT, have we got any music lined up? Because I think we could break for some music. and then I would talk to Joseph the next break, I reckon.